What's up, everybody? Matt Gajewski here, back again with the Odd Shopper channel. And today we're talking some XFL betting. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. We are brought to you by Bet365, and they have a no-brainer offer for you guys that's only available for a limited time. I know a lot of people are always trying to find the ins and outs of sports betting, find the biggest edges. That's what we try to do on this channel, honestly, with a lot of these betting videos. But honestly, one of the best ways to build your bankroll is just take advantage of the promos. Bet365 has one right now where with your first deposit, you can bet $1 on any market, and you're automatically going to get $200 in the form of bonus bets. Deposit is required. These will be paid out in the form of bonus bets. Terms and conditions apply. The legal age for gambling in most states is 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. This is only available in New Jersey, Colorado, Ohio, and Virginia. All right, with March Madness out of the way, we're sort of changing up the structure with the XFL betting. We're going to do a video for each individual day there are games. This will be for the Friday individual game. We'll have videos out for Saturday and Sunday as well. This first game is Seattle taking on Arlington. Seattle is a 5-point favorite, and the total is 38. From a betting perspective, right away, my favorite is looking at Seattle here. There's a couple reasons. First of all, Arlington has not played the most difficult level of competition right now. When you look at their most recent games, they're coming off 2 straight games against the Brahmas. They split that series. They did play St. Louis, which was a loss, and they played Houston in the first 4 weeks, but that span also included Orlando and Vegas. So 4 of the 6 games that Arlington has played so far are essentially against the bottom 3 teams in the league. They've yet to face off against DC. They've got to play Houston again. The more difficult portion of their schedule is looming, whereas Seattle has played some difficult competition already, and they've gotten through a lot of it. They had a 4-point loss to DC in week 1. That's solid. They knocked off, or they were defeated by St. Louis, another very good team, by 2 points in week 2. They've taken care of business against the weaker teams, so the Guardians, the Vipers, the Brahmas, and they also beat Houston, who's a very good team. That was a 7-point game as well. So right away, you can see there's a difference in level of competition and a difference in terms of talent on the roster. When looking at injuries, Seattle has a lengthier injury report, but right now, most of these guys are DNP. The only player I'm actually really expecting to miss is Liam Jimmons, a starting offensive lineman for them, but the rest are questionable and have actually put in limited practices to start the week. Even a guy like Bryce Thompson, one of their starting DBs, might play. He was a DNP on Wednesday, but he's still listed as questionable. So this is a Seattle team that looks like they're getting healthier too. As far as some of the intangibles go, Arlington is a team with essentially no offense at this point. They have not eclipsed 15 points scored in any game since week 1. Now, Seattle's the complete opposite. This is a team that plays pretty fast. They're pass heavy, and they stress your defense by running 4 wide. They have maybe the front runner for MVP right now, especially among the quarterbacks in Ben DiNucci, and a slew of pass catchers, and some of these notable former NFL names behind Josh Gordon, Ja'Cory Pearson, Blake Jackson, Juwan Green. This team is going to spread you out and run 4 wide on most of the plays. Not to mention, it looks like they're going to get their starting running back, Morgan Ellison, back. With Arlington, you have the exact opposite. It's basically been personnel questions across the board, mainly at quarterback. The quarterback position for this team has been a revolving door. They started Drew Plitt to begin the season. People called for Kyle Sloter. He played so poorly that he's now been benched and cut. This team did make a trade, but it doesn't appear Luis Perez is going to be ready for this game, meaning Drew Plitt's going to start. We might see some Kevin Anderson. I don't know what this team is going to give us. They're now on their maybe 4th and 5th running backs. They tried an approach that eventually just slammed De'Veon Smith into the back of the offensive line about 18 times per game. They've since had players like Kenneth Farrow who've been injured. They've signed Letty Brown and Brian Harrion. Harrion wasn't even active last week. Their receiving core has been banged up. They've lost Rennell Hall. They had to sign Victor Bolden off the street. It's basically a complete disaster in terms of offensive player personnel. Now, it can't get any worse, but going back to Drew Plitt, I do not think is the answer here. So the main question is, how does this Arlington team score points? I know Seattle's going to score points to some degree. Arlington, I have major questions. Arlington's also a pretty good defense when you look at them across the board in terms of yards per attempt allowed to opposing offenses via the pass and via the run. This team is number 1 in rushing yards allowed per game in a good way. So they're only allowing 3.4 yards per attempt. That's the best mark in the league. And then 5.95 yards per attempt through the air. That's second best, only to Seattle themselves. So not only do you have an offense that can't score, you've got 2 pretty good defenses on both sides. My favorite play is still Seattle minus the 5, but an under 38 points could make sense here. You have 1 inept offense, 2 pretty good defenses on both sides. Arlington being the home team doesn't hurt them either. So right away, we're going to go Seattle minus 5. And if you want to make a single game parlay, something like that, add something else. I do like the under 38 points as well here. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow breaking down the Saturday games. We'll do Sunday as well. Let me know what you think of this game in the comments section. And if you'd like to reach out, I'm on Twitter at Matt_Gajewski. Until next time, we'll see you all then, and good luck.